Yeah, we will wait a few more minutes.
But before we get started anyway, can we just make sure that anyone that's in the room is logged in?
Oh, yeah, but it's not allowed.
Okay. Hi everyone, welcome to Suit for IETF 123.
Could you
Could someone close the door, please? Thank you. Okay, so this is the note well. You've probably seen this already a few times. It's important to keep in mind that everything we say and do in this meeting is part of the IETF process. You should have already read it and be clear of what it has and means. This is the note really well. It's about making sure that everyone is respectful on how we interact both in person and online. A reminder, this session is being recorded. And again, just make sure that anyone in the room is logged in. We do already have some note takers, so thank you so much.
Okay. This is the agenda for today. We have two AD evaluation for the suit report and update management, and approved for the announcement sent is for suit MTI and trust domain, and three more on editor's queue: the suit manifest, suit firmware encryption, suit mud. Any budget agenda bashing? Any other topics we'd like to talk? One, two, yeah, okay. Okay, then we will start from the first one, will be the suit report. Next page is clicking, okay. This is the few days ago, had the last update, suit report 14. It's in the AD evaluation. And the next draft is the suit manifest. Oh no, it's suit update management, sorry. This one is was yes from the it's before the IETF 123 start. It's also an AD evaluation, and the next one is suit MTI. The title have changed to cryptographic algorithm for Internet of Things devices from which used to be called mandatory to implement. This one is updated. I think it was yesterday or a few days ago, and that's MTI 23. It's approved announcement sent. And the next one is the suit trust domains. It's 12. And this is also just updated. And this is also approved for an announcement sent. And this is the first page is most of the changes we had from interim, last suit interim. Yes.
So just to be clear of what my plan is, so I'm Deb Cooley, your responsible AD. I will look at the changes that have been made to suit report, and if those are good, then I will progress that to IETF last call. After I do that, I actually have a couple of other things I need to look at, but then I'm going to do the suit update management and read that and see. And I expect I'll have comments on that because that's the way that works. But suit report I'll do probably before middle of August, and see where we get. So that's my plan. Is that okay? I mean, not like you get to choose, but.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's very
yes.
reasonable. Thank you.
Thank you. And these are the one in the RFC editor queue. So the suit manifest 34, it was updated just before suit interim last time. And the suit firmware encryption, this had a little bit of editorial update, but the content is not changed. And the suit strong assertion of IoT network access requirements, suit mod. It's yes, this is I think was as it is as a suit IETF 122. And the last I added how to do the CDDO syntax check in the suit report Git repository. So I would like to yes, introduce that to at the time if in any other business time. Yes, anything else? Okay, then the first one will be. Oh yeah, I think I need to. I'm the person. Change. Oops. Yes.
So for all these drafts sitting in the editor's queue, right, you're going to get pinged on by the editor and by maybe IANA. So the mud draft was pinged on by IANA. You need to keep an eye out. The quicker you reply to those messages, the quicker things move along. You're at a part of the process for all these drafts where things take a little bit of time, but it doesn't help to have the authors wait like 3 weeks to reply to an editor to really sort of slow the process down a lot. So both the mud draft and the manifest draft, I think, have had IANA comments recently. As things move along, because a lot of this is in misref, because they're waiting on the MTI draft primarily, I think.
Yeah.
So you just need to be keeping track, like you need to be checking to see whether you're getting editor comments, and when you do that, you need to reply. There are some of those editor comments that have to be replied by every author, not just one author. So all of you hangers-ons, I mean, I didn't say that. All of your people who don't normally reply to messages are going to have to reply to messages because it won't be published unless you all reply. So get in the habit.
Thank you. The first slide, suit report. Is it possible to set it? Yeah, sometimes it's. Oh, there it is. Hello. So the first one is suit report. Brendan, are you there?
I am there.
Okay.
I have just passed you slide control as well.
All right, let's start with a little bit of a status update. The last status that we had before was that there were some AD comments. Thanks again for those, Deb. We've now responded to all of those and published a new draft. It's now up to version 14. So let's just quickly go through a summary of the changes. One of the ballot position comments we got was that it would be really nice to have a summary of the changes since last call. So I've incorporated that into this as well. So this one's relatively straightforward. There weren't a lot of changes since IETF 122. Or sorry, there weren't a lot of changes before IETF 122 since the last call. So this actually works out to both the changes since 122 and the changes since working group last call. So it's mostly just clarifications, consistency, references, that sort of thing. But we have added a more substantial section on expert review instructions, a media type registration template, and we've substantially improved the security considerations section. So I hope that that will cover the remaining commentary that we received. Oh, wait, sorry, this isn't a ballot position comment. This is a Deb's comment. Sorry, Deb. Got lost between my two drafts here. Yeah, so this is to hopefully to address the comments that Deb has made, and this should be pretty well there now, I think, up until we start getting ballots on it, of course. So we've got a few steps to come. We've got a number of comments that have been replied to, so I guess we're waiting for a follow-up from Deb, but there is going to need to be another copy of this draft issued, because somehow through the magic of a variety of Git changes, we have wound up with an informational draft that really should be a standard. I'm not sure how that happened. It's fascinating. It looks like that hasn't changed at all ever, and yet at the same time there are definitely versions of this draft which have been listed as standard, so that's to come. Or did I already publish it? It's a bit lost now. Anyway, that's it for that one. So if there's any comments. Hi, Deb.
So you have a media type registration in this?
Yes.
We need to submit that. So we need to submit the media type registration before we put it into IETF last call, because media type registrations take a while, and it's best to have them started as early as possible. So there is information around and about that says how to do that. I'll look that up and send it to you if you don't find it before I do.
Okay.
Because that has to be done. And what happens is normally you put the media type registration in, and the media type people sort of say, eh. And then I poke the ADs that are responsible for media type registrations, and they make them do it. So that's why it's sort of a long poll. It's one of the questions I ask when I have to issue the ballot for this is there a media type registration, and has it been submitted? So the earlier we do this, the better off it is. The other person that's really good at this is Thomas, who I don't see here, but he does know how to do that as well.
Okay.
Do you? Yeah. There you go. What they need to do to follow it.
And as you say, you have to nag them.
You do have to nag them. And it is better for them to do it now, right? Early and often, like voting.
In a really episode.
Okay. The next one is the next slide. Was it? Oh, or we is the update managed? Oh, yeah, okay. Mhm. Okay. I will be temporarily become an author of the draft. Yes, and push the also one. Okay. So this is the changes from the feature-wise is from the suit interim in June 11. The title changed from crypto algorithm recommendation for suit, software update of Internet of Things, which is a suit to crypto algorithm for Internet of Things device, which is more generic titles. And these are the all comments from IETF reviews. Tell chat, I see. And used to have the profile separate with the current and the future listed. The only one future was specifying for the PQC algorithm, and then we changed it to everything in flat as the same all profile level instead of separating classical one and PQC. And yes, so this is some security considered portion we updated. It's been discussed in many IETF and the mailing list, so just more a clarification. So payload encryption protection is for the sensitive content inside the firmware, and when it's during the distribution on the internet or USB or some other method. And it doesn't mean that this encryption will prevent when the device itself is compromised. So, or if some of the firmware is written in the place which is not encrypted, that's often happened in the commodity devices. Okay. Next page. Oh, next page is me. And okay, and this is a really good operational consideration for when you use the suit MTI plus suit manifest, especially for the implementing the devices with based on the suit manifest and MTI. So. Guidance of how to discover supported profile on the target device, because the target device may not always have all the profile it's listed in the suit MTI, and it might, and then need to find a way to select it. And also, it might require to changing the profile in the different profile from the first selection. So how it's describing when to and that could happen. And so also when doing the firmware update or any of the suit manifest operation on the device, it's always please consider it's logging and reporting back the result is the recommendation. And this is it's really for me was really good information for the HSS and LMS PQC crypto for what is a way to use the size of the signature for the verification and the trees with the height of the trees. And another thing is there's 5 profiles, which is the developer or creator or generator or author of the suit binary is mandatory to implement or to have the capability to handle the crypto in the profiles. And however, the receiver who is going to conduct the update or process the profile only mandatory is no, it's not mandatory for the PQC HSS LMS. It's recommended. And another thing was the Koseyana assignment. Few ES256 and EDDSA became deprecated. So I had to change the number and updated the draft in the CDDR file. This is also affecting to the T protocol draft, so which is going to be probably need to update too. And yes, so these are editorial changes. There was many for example, with suddenly in the draft they was using many abbreviations, so I had added explanation, and yes, added the relationship with the suit manifest, and yes, also the IANA consideration chapter. And this IANA consideration chart was the one of the portion we changed the huge many of the line is one of the reason was exceeding the 72 character with error or warning from the net tools. I forgot. IDNet tools. Yes, which is manually it's difficult to change it. So we opened up the chart as just a listing in the draft. I think next page. No, that's the final. Okay. Comment from the room or online. Brendan. Okay.
The next one?
Yes. Okay. So next one is suit trust domains. Yes.
Yeah, sorry, I did raise my hand there. I was a little slow, but I'm going to make the same comment that I've been making at every IETF. The post-quantum transition is mandated. We have limited time to get it done. Devices that are deployed as of 2030 effectively have to be PQC capable. Putting out an MTI draft at this point in time that actually standardizes algorithms that are about to be deprecated is counterintuitive. I understand why we're doing it, but I still think we shouldn't. So I just have to put that out there on the record again.
Yes. Noted.
Deb's just coming up to mic. 1 second.
So now that you have it submitted, you could probably start work on the next one, the update, right? Just guarantee, I mean, you're going to need, it's going to take a little bit of time to do that, right? So
Yep.
Don't shortchange my reviews in terms of your ability to reply to them, but you should start working on that update now, because now it's clear what you should do, or it's more clear what you should do for this. Whereas before, when you started this, LMS and HMS were all you had. Now you have other options, right? So you just need to choose wisely, and you need to think about, like the working group needs to think about it a little bit and decide what the best course is. But now you can start working on that update now that you have MTI at least in the queue, right?
Yep. Like I said, I understand. I just wanted it on the record. All right, so this draft suit trust domains has been through the IESG once now. We've had a number of comments, a number of discusses. All of the discussed positions have been cleared by the IESG. We did have one ballot comment about the title and introduction. So what's happening here is that there's a lot of work that's gone into specifically the dependencies component of suit trust domains. And so if you read through it, you sort of start to get the impression that this is really just about dependencies. The argument originally, of course, was that you only actually need dependencies if you have multiple trust domains. And so there's a couple of other scenarios and a couple of other things you might need even if you don't need dependencies when you have multiple trust domains. And so that's sort of where this came from. We've had a bit of a discussion recently about whether we should go through the process of renaming the draft and rewriting the introduction. The issue here is that this doesn't change the content except the introduction and the title. But what it does do is brings it back from the IESG to the working group, and then it has to go out again. So this seems like a pretty big overhead for a pretty small gain. And the position that I and at least one of the other contributors have is that this is more effort than it's worth, and that it doesn't actually gain our implementers much. So that being the case, we are taking the view that this probably shouldn't have its title changed or its introduction rewritten, even if a casual reader will say, hey, why isn't this just all about dependencies? The answer is that, well, it could have been, I suppose, but there are a few things that aren't. And what we are left with is a question as to how much more work we want to do just to change a title. So that being the case, we went around that loop once and have decided that we're going to leave it where it is. All of the other comments have been addressed. The only remaining comment that has come back from the IESG in the last couple of days is that it might be nice to expand the acronym of CDDL and the other of TEE on first use, even though they are terms that are imported from referenced drafts. So maybe we should issue an update for that. I'm not sure. But that is a comment. It's not a discuss, so it's not a blocker. Go ahead, Deb.
No, the editor will take care of that. They'll see that it's not expanded and it's not in the big, broader, already defined acronym list, and they'll make you do it. There's a couple of other typos in this draft that they will also make you fix, which is fine. I mean, that's why I didn't make you go back and reissue it again, just to like expand a couple of acronyms and fix a couple typos, because the editor will do that.
Okay. Well, in that case, then there are no substantive comments remaining. All of the comments that there were have been replied to. So I think we are in good shape in that regard. So what have we changed? Well, there's been a few changes. Since IETF 122, there's been explanations expanded. One of the requests was that we add a summary of the different features that are implemented in this draft to the introduction. There's also been, there was a certain amount of terminology which was defined in the suit manifest and then carried over to this draft as well. And so I've removed those duplicate definitions, especially because some of them actually have different content. So it's better to have a consistent definition in one place than two conflicting ones. There's a section in this draft called required checks, and the required checks are not ordered per se. They don't actually say which one has to happen first or anything like that. And this is a carryover as well from the original suit manifest. It doesn't have ordering on the required checks either. There was a request to show how these required checks were integrated into the existing ones, since this does update a list that's in the manifest. So I went back and forth with the reviewer on that a little bit, and came to the conclusion that we should be able to treat it mostly as an unordered list, that the order shouldn't actually be relevant and be implementation defined. But there are certain exceptions to this where things do have to happen in a particular order, and that is now called out explicitly in this draft, saying what has to happen before something or after something. Um, there's a bunch more cross references that have been added, and a dangling reference pruned, and the security considerations prior to this version of the draft were essentially go look at the suit manifest security considerations, or actually no, more specifically, go and look in the information model because it contains a security model. So that wasn't really up to snuff. And it's now got a pretty substantial security consideration section that applies specifically to the features that are added in this version of the draft. So in addition to the changes that I've described, these are the residual changes since working group last call, just so that you've got an idea of where we came from when the working group agreed to this document and where we are now. So we had a little bit in terms of terminology and improving that, like adding a reference to the isolation level, changing manifest hash to being what the actual name of the object in the suit manifest. We've also added a normative reference to the suit firmware encryption draft. That was needed specifically to be able to reference how to do encrypted manifests, despite otherwise not really needing the firmware encryption draft in this draft. Some unused references have also been pruned, and we've added references to things like CDDL and CBOR so that that can be expanded out in this draft and make it a little bit more standalone. And the examples also needed an update after a couple of changes got made. I think that was predominantly to the ordering of the elements in the manifest when we added in candidate verification. So that's what I've got for the suit trust domains. As far as I know, our next steps are that it goes back to the IESG. There are no further comments there. So from what I understand, this should be headed for the editor's queue now. I'm waiting for Deb to stand up and tell me I'm wrong.
Deb's already done that one today.
Okay.
Just before,
Awesome.
so it's all good. It's approved, so it's gone through. Back to ISG? No. Oh, approved to go to editor's queue. There you go.
Great.
Brendan, yeah, I think I read your email about the comment on the update management.
Yes, as far as I understand the status on suit update management at the moment, nothing has changed. That much I know for sure. As far as I understand, the next step on it, which Deb mentioned earlier, is for her to have a look at it, and then of course we will respond to her comments, which there will inevitably be many, and we'll go from there.
Okay. Any other topics? Then I would like to show the CDDL syntax check method on the from the GitHub. Yes, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Nope. Yes. So the Meet Echo screen sharing is not working right now. So if you go to the GitHub with this, on the suit report, I added the makefile command saying check CDDL. May I read it? Yes.
I'll just put the link in there.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we will add the comment in the link to the chat. And yes, how to conduct CDDL syntax check. So Karsten Cabo, he added the new tool CDDLC, which is different from CDDL. So inside the make file, when you type make space -c space CDDL CDDL syntax check, then they will execute the command CDDLC with the more readable syntax check warning or error message back. And initially, before I add this to this make file, I was every time I was to conduct a thorough syntax check was git cloning the TIP protocol and then use the CDDL file in the suit report. So this is much easier. And at the same time, if you see the README in the Git repo, GitHub, it's how to, when you modify the MD file or CDDL file, what to do for the in the repository to update, and then also how to submit the draft. So anybody forward to use CBOR or COSE in the maintaining the draft in the GitHub and need to submit to the draft, yes, please copy this README. And would like to have any kind of feedback is welcome. Yes. Okay. Any other comment, question?
Okay, well, if there's nothing else, I guess that would mean that we could close this meeting off. Thank you so much for our note takers, and we will hopefully be organizing an intra meeting soon, which we will do in the mailing list.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, this is a